Hello, my name is Rukminingsih. This is my presentation on comparison of brain-targeted teaching model versus students' content schemata with online instruction to students with different motivation level. On our research, we investigated some variables. They are first, brain-targeted teaching model with online instruction adapted from Hardiman 2012 and Parr 2016 in his dissertation finding. And second, students' content schemata with online instruction. And the third is students' motivation with a high and low level as moderator variables. So why did we conduct this research? The past few years have been marked by a large number of discoveries about the learning brain. These insights have the potential to support teachers in designing better classroom environment to help students learn better. While understanding the brain can be helpful for teachers, this knowledge can also be beneficial for students. For instance, it can encourage students to believe in their capacity to improve their own skill to make better use of supportive learning strategies. In this study, I briefly present comparison of brain-targeted teaching model versus student content schemata with online instruction to students with different motivation level inspired by neuroscience of educators to implement at school. So what happens actually in our brain when we are learning? Our brain is primarily composed of about 85 billion neurons. A neuron is a cell which acts as a messenger, sending information in the form of nerve impulses like electrical signals to other neurons. Look at the figure 1. It shows that there are two neurons connecting each other. For example, when you are writing, some neurons in your brain send the move fingers message to other neurons. Then this message then travels through the nerves like cables all the way to your fingers. The electrical signals that are communicated from one neuron to another are therefore what allows you to do everything you do, write, think, see, jump, talk, compute, and so on. And each neuron can be connected with up to 10,000 other neurons, leading to large number of connections in your brain, which looks like a very dense spider web is like in a figure 2. In figure 2, you can see that this is figure illustrating the very large number of connections between neurons. While we are talking about brain-targeted teaching model, so we should start with the human brain structure and functions. In our learning, we have to pay attention from the three parts of the brain structure. The first, from the picture, we have a brain stem. Brain stem here. The brain stem is located beneath the limbic system. It is responsible for vital life functions such as breathing, heartbeat, and blood pressures. So it means first the response from the brainstem. So it means that when the students get a high blood pressure, so it is not good one to go to the limbic system. And then the limbic system is responsible for our emotion, higher mental functions such as learning and memory. So when we are afraid or we feel frightened, so everything that we will get will be lost and we don't have in the long-term memory. And the third is a cerebral cortex. The largest part of the brain is the ultimate control and information processing center in the brain. The cerebral cortex is responsible for many higher order brain functions such as sensation, perception, memory, association, thought, and voluntary physical action. Based on the theory of brain-based approach discovered by Kane and Kane 1991 and 2002, Jensen 2007, Sousa 1995 and 1998. They discovered about the brain-based approach. They are neurologists and also focusing on mind and brain. Brain-based education is the engagement of strategies based on principle from understanding of the brain learning. So first start with the brain-based learning principle and go to the brain-based teaching. Brain-based approach actually consists of the three parts. They are neuroscience, consisting of brain and function, and the psychology consists of mind and behavior, and then the pedagogy consists of individual education and learning. While talking about neuroscience, involves of brain waves, structure and function of the brain and the hemisphere. And then pedagogy involves of individual education and learning consists of curriculum and lesson plan. And the psychology involves of mind and behavior consists of emotion, motivation, and engagement. Brain-based teaching approach maintains that learning involves the entire brain structure of human being. This based from Kane and Kane 1991, 2002, Jensen 2007, and Sousa 1998, and Tang 2017. Although all teaching and learning process in coronavirus 19 pandemic must be conducted in fully online class, but teachers should not ignore the students' engagement, emotion, comfort, and motivation in learning process. According to some studies, a brain-based teaching approach with online instruction assists teachers in determining how they should teach their students. Rukminingsih et al. 2021, Rukminingsih 2018, Part 2016, Hadiman 2012, and Sabitzer 2011. We go to the next variable, schema theory. Schema theory, there are two aspects. They are psychology and cognitive when they are dealing with a reading comprehension. One particular aspect of learning that instructors should consider is how students use prior knowledge to comprehend and learn from the text. Schema theory emphasizes the mental connection learners make between pieces of information and can be very powerful component of the learning process. It has been said that the fundamental principle of schema theory assumes that written text doesn't carry meaning by itself, that it can only provide direction for learners as to how they should retrieve or construct meaning from their own previously or background acquired knowledge. The activation of learner schema may be recognized as the process in which textual signal to the direction or area for the readers to look for and evoke the relevant schema for memory into the present reading task. Lee, 1997. According to psychologist and researcher David Sousa, schema theory has important implications for school classroom. It is crucial for teachers to realize that students can remember substantial amount of new information only if they are able to cluster it with their related existing ideas. People forget information if they do not work to integrate it into their existing mental frameworks. According to to Xu Ying An 2013, there are three major types of schema: linguistic, schema formal, and content, all of which correlate to reading comprehension. Linguistic schemata refers to reader exhibiting language proficiency in vocabulary, grammar, and jargon, and without it, it may be impossible for the readers to decode and subsequently comprehend the text. Formal schemata are the organization form and rhetorical structures of written text, and reader will use their schematic representative of the text. Last, content schemata refer to the background knowledge of the content area. They may include the topic familiarity, cultural knowledge, and previous experience with the field. Look at this. This is the characteristic of schema, long-lasting and difficult to change. And the function is for us to comprehend a new information, improve information processing, and comprehension. Schema helps to save our connective energy also. Three types of schemata. First, linguistic schema. Second, formal schema. And third, content schema. Linguistic schema refers to reader existing language proficiency in vocabulary, grammar, and jargon. Formal schema is the organizational form and rhetorical structure of written text, and reader will ask their schematic representation of the text. Content schema refers to the background knowledge of the content area. So in this research, we investigated only content schemata for students' reading comprehension. How can schema influence our thinking? First, by comprehension, processing, and trying to make sense of new information by relating it to existing knowledge. Confirmation bias when tend to focus on remember and believe information that is consistent with existing belief, existing schema. Review studies. Bransford and Johnson 1972 studies show how activating schema can allow the comprehension and memory of new information. The second, we connect new information to existing schema to make sense. And the third, without schema, background knowledge, new topic is difficult to comprehend. Stern et al. 2010 shows how activating schema can lead to confirmation bias as judgment of action are consistent with stereotypes. Cohen et al. 1981 shows how activating schema can lead to confirmation bias as memory is consistent with stereotypes. Theory of schema, basically a theory of background knowledge. According to the theory, schemata or background knowledge are used to make sense of reading text by Ramahat, 1980, Fahriani, 2014. Prior knowledge can be obtained by activating students' content schemata. According to Ramahat 1980, Zhao and Su 2012, content schemata refer to the background knowledge of a text subject matter. Among them include familiarity with a topic, cultural understanding, and prior expertise in certain field. As the name implies, content schemata deal with the knowledge about the text content. Asmari and Javid 2018 found that their empirical survey investigates the perception of English language teachers towards the role of content schemata in reading comprehension among Saudi EFL learners. Furthermore, it is also an attempt to explore the use of appropriate classroom strategies employed by English language teachers to activate content schemata to enhance learner reading comprehension. Student reading motivation, this is our last variables dealing with moderator variables. Reading English text is difficult and boring activity. It makes them motivate to learn English, especially in reading. It was supported by Bin Tahir 2012, we argued that the most of the students have low of vocabulary mastery which hinder them to read the English text. Memory and motivation are interrelated with emotions. From motivation, reading questionnaire, adapted from Komiyama R 2013, was implemented in this research. Educators were the most influential in motivating them to learn English as second language. As a result, lectures are one of the most important factors in influence students. English learning by communicating, teaching, and using appropriate teaching materials and teachers or lecture of English second language should promote all types of motivation in the classroom and guide students toward achieving goals. Azhar and Tangraju 2020, Azhar and Sahar 2021. The motivation and L2 reading can be observed by using intrinsic and extrinsic reading motivational proposed by Wang and Catherine 2004, Hoffman 2012, and Sikora 2013. The novelty of this study. Some scholars have recently conducted studies on brain-based teaching. However, there have been few studies on brain-based teaching integrated with online instruction. Some researchers frequently focus on the implementation of brain-based teaching and learning in the classroom, which doesn't apply to virtual classes. Rincon et al. 2017, Beaton and Maricar 2020, and Goyesil 2014. Brain-based teaching with technology support by Rukminingsih 2018-2021 and Sabisa 2012. Thus, the goal of this study is to fill gaps in previous research by comparison between brain-targeted teaching model and activating student schemata with online instruction by using an low reading motivation level as the moderator variable. Research question: is there distinct impact between brain-targeted teaching model versus student content schemata with online to student different motivation level and student achievement in EFL critical reading course? And the second, do the achievement of students with a high motivation in the EFL reading course get higher than those with low motivation? And the third, is there an interaction between teaching strategies and the level of student motivation in student achievement in EFL critical reading course? Methods, research goal. The study was quasi-experimental research design with a 2 times 2 factorial design. The study aims to assess the effect of activating student content schemata versus brain-targeted teaching model in online to teach reading comprehension to students with different motivation level in English Language Education Department of STKIP PGRI Jombang, East Java, Indonesia. Sample and data collection. A private college in East Java Province, Indonesia, 60 undergraduate students majoring in English Education Department were selected for the research sample through proposed sampling techniques. Every class consists of 30 students and each of the class consists of 15 high and 15 low motivation level. Data analysis. Reading comprehension test was used to assess student achievement in EFL reading comprehension. Two-way analysis of variance or ANOVA at the level of significant alpha 0.05 was the data analyzed used in the study. It was used to test the 3 hypotheses. This is the factorial research designs. You can see here the strategy. There are 2 strategies. Brain-targeted teaching model with online instruction. This is the first strategy. And second, activating student content schemata with online instruction. And then as the moderator variable, there is student motivation involving high and low motivation. This is the results of two-way ANOVA based on the statistic data. The result. The study revealed there is distinct impact between brain-targeted teaching model versus student content schemata with online instructions to student different motivation level and student achievement in EFL critical reading course. The second, the achievements of students with a high motivation in the EFL reading course get higher than those with low motivation. And the third, there is interaction between teaching strategies and the level of student motivation and students' achievement in EFL critical reading course. Brain-based targeted teaching model versus activating student content schemata with online instruction. This following is teaching strategies. Brain-targeted teaching model with online instruction. We have 4 steps. First, treating positive emotional learning climates on synchronized learning, and then introducing using multiple modalities and technologies. And the third, employing critical thinking to critical reading, both synchronous and unsynchronous. And the fourth, giving feedback, both synchronous and unsynchronous. And for the activating students' content schemata with online instruction, giving similar topic with the text which will be discussed in online class the day before. And then the second, asking students to develop their background knowledge by searching and reading the similar topic. And the third, employing critical thinking to critical reading, both synchronous and unsynchronous. And the fourth, giving feedback, both synchronous and unsynchronous. Discussion, the conceptual understanding of implementing brain-based targeted teaching model with online instruction has been proved that there is great increase. Rukminingsih et al. 2021, Rukminingsih 2018, and Subvisor 2011 state that brain-based teaching and learning strategies with online instruction can create an online positive atmosphere and can stimulate student engagement and motivation. FAR 2016 and Salem 2017 state that the brain-based targeted teaching model stimulates positive emotion. Conboy 2013, 2017, and Rukminingsih 2018 found that the teachers should make use of brain-based teaching strategy and the concept of brain-based teaching learning in the classroom. Schemata, according to number studies, plays an important role in reading comprehension and provide better understanding of the subject of the text. Hang 2019, McNeil 2011, Salbigo Abson 2016, Joe and Ma 2020. Well, this is the conclusion and recommendation from our research. In conclusion, both BTT or brain targeted teaching model and activating student content schemata were effective applied in teaching reading achievement to students with a high and low motivation level. And the recommendation is in foreign or second language learning, there is an increasing need to understand more about brain-based teaching techniques. Therefore, it is hoped that this next researcher will conduct research to the further knowledge about students in EF reading classroom and facilitate more studies on brain-based teaching strategies with technology support. Limitations. The limitation of this study, the researcher just assessed the quantitative data, which is sometimes considered to be more qualifying research finding if the study was conducted in both quantitative and qualitative data. Okay, dear participants, this is my presentation, and then it is closed by one slide. What makes teachers true educators is their acknowledgement, appreciation, and respect of students' difference in intelligences, talents, skills, interests, and backgrounds by considering how learners' brain works and learns. Thank you, Pak Rukminingsih. And this research article is one part of research question in my dissertation.